Activate is a project that we're working on. It stands for Autistic Community through Advocacy, Learning and Empowerment. This is a project led by the Directorate for Disability Issues, or DDI, in collaboration with the Commission for the Rights of People with Disabilities in Malta. Impact SAI, Associação Portuguesa Voz do Autista, or APFA, Katholieke Universiteit Leuven, or KU Leuven, and the European Council of Autistic People, UCAP. These are the companies listed below. So we have some short introductions.
Well, I don't think there's anything else to say about me apart from what was said before. I think that covered almost everything I had to say. Thank you very much for the introduction.
I didn't know we were going to be introduced when I made this presentation. So we have Emily as well. We have myself. So we actually have a question for you as well. Have you ever been in a position where you need to advocate for your own needs? You can feel free to let us know in chat. And if you have any examples as well, we'd love to hear it. Always. Okay. I'm going to throw in the other two questions as well. Have you ever found it difficult to communicate your needs to others? And do you often struggle with being misunderstood? If you're autistic, there's a high likelihood you said yes to at least one of these questions. And these are part of the reasons we're working on this project. So why is self-advocacy important? Everyone can feel free to leave their own answers in chat. And basically, we think that self-advocacy is important because many people who do not know how to advocate for their needs will inevitably not be taken seriously by society and organizations, leading to stressful situations that can cause autistic people to burn out and fall behind in academic settings, work settings, these kinds of places. Self-advocacy is also important because it inspires people to open their minds to neurodiversity, potentially leading them to learn about themselves and to better understand their own needs. So a neurotypical person might see these advocacy efforts, learn more about the diversity of neurotypes, and might learn a bit more about themselves at the same time. So what is Activate really? So Activate aims to foster an open advocacy space for autism and create the Autistic Advocacy Academy. The Autistic Advocacy Academy will be an online EU-wide academy which will be comprised of facilitators and students. The facilitators, also known as trainers, will voluntarily attend a Train the Trainers workshop hosted by one of our project partners, UCAP. These trainers will help the students learn coping strategies, how to advocate for themselves and their needs, and how to better understand themselves by providing helpful resources to the students. Activate is funded by Erasmus+, which is a European program for education, training, youth, and sports. It is not only aimed at students, but many audiences from various fields, both formal and informal, in the education and training sectors. And Activate is comprised out of 6 partners that we mentioned at the beginning of the presentation, and they each take care of their own area of expertise. This way we can cooperate to create an efficient and effective work environment for all of us. And we frequently have meetings with these partners, either all together or one-on-one, to discuss the project progress and to foster open communication between the partners to collaborate effectively. So a quick overview of the project. one of the main objectives of Activate is to create the Autistic Advocacy Academy and have it exist beyond the duration of the project, which will last until around mid 2026. And the key deliverables, we will measure our success through quantitative and qualitative means, such as the number of trainers trained or the number of students who attend the academy, things like that. We were allocated a total budget of 250,000 euros by Erasmus Plus, and we have cost management strategies for this. We have implemented strict cost management strategies to monitor expenditures and ensure we remain within the budget. So far, we've managed to stay within our budget quite easily, and this has allowed us extra leeway to put towards advertising efforts, employing more people to help with the project, and to reach our goals. I'll take it over to
Um,
Emily.
now here I will talk about the project goals. Next slide. So the project goals of Activate are research, the Autism Advocacy Academy, and train the trainers workshops. Next slide. Thank you. The the research will the research being conducted is to assess autistic people's experience and view on advocacy and what they would like to expect from an autistic advocacy school. This research is led by Leuven. It is done via a survey for autistic youth from the ages of 16 to 29. There is also the option to answer the survey in an interview format. um, the the research will evaluate different areas from the needs of autistic individuals regarding advocacy and their experience of advocacy, if any. The results of it will determine the basis for the Autistic Advocacy Academy, and this will also be available in different languages. Next slide. Um, and hopefully, then the Autistic Advocacy Academy will be based on the results of this research. It's led by Impact Side, a Portuguese NGO, and they'll be designing this program along with the other partners. The academy will provide autistic youth with the knowledge and skills to become self-advocates across different sectors. These sectors are, next slide, self-advocacy, education, healthcare, employment, policy and legislation, and digital campaigning. Self-advocacy will cover knowing and understanding what self. Tokyo, can you go back, please? Thank you. Self-advocacy will cover knowing and understanding what self-advocacy is, as well as developing the skills for it. Then we have education, which can involve identifying challenges and opportunities and advocating for inclusive education, and even creating dialogue between educators for better learning experiences. Healthcare will cover how to advocate for yourself in healthcare settings, such as accommodations from medical professionals and services, as well as how to navigate through such services, as often they can be inaccessible to autistic people, which I imagine is a very common experience. In employment, this program can teach how to identify and navigate barriers and counters in the workplace, and advocating for neurodivergent friendly places, as well as workplace accommodations. For policy and legislation, um, this program will help you look up and identify various policies and laws that can impact autistic people, which include your your legal rights, as well as engaging with policymakers to make change at a local and at an EU level or international, if if you want to. Finally, digital campaigning involves using digital platforms for self-advocacy to create campaigns, social media strategies, and to create greater outreach. Next slide, please, Tokyo. Thank you, love. Um, organized by UCAP, and as well as the other partners. Train the trainers will train youth workers to teach self-advocacy to autistic youth. As the entire project is for autistic youth by autistic youth, this will further self-advocacy by having peer-to-peer support to enable them to carry out the aforementioned modules. Thank you, and I pass this on to my friend Eric.
Thank you. So, all right. It's also really important, of course, to keep you all updated on the progress of our project, right? We can't just keep all the information and secrets to ourselves, obviously. So this task is mainly led by CRPD, where I personally work, but we all pitch in and help in wherever and whenever we can. So, of course, by raising awareness, we always plan to raise acceptance as well. It's always super important. I'm not going to look at the chat for now. It's distracting. So yeah, how are we going to do this? So we actually already have quite a few videos out, such as the short video news updates. These are short videos that you can find on quite a few different platforms. You're seeing the thumbnails of them right now. You might recognize some faces there. They just give you a short update on where we are in the project right now. We also have one coming out very soon featuring Tokyo, so do keep an eye out for that one. We also have video testimonials. These are more personal videos that are presented by people who took part in the project. For example, we have one from Belgium. The presenter, she took part in the research project, and she was talking about her experience taking part in the research. It was quite a nice one. Also, of course, in April, we have an Autism Month campaign, so do keep an eye out for that. Of course, we really want to center autistic voices with this project, so we're going to have that. And also, right at the end of the project, we have the final conference where we're sharing the results, ways forward, all that fun stuff, but that's at the end. Next slide, please. So right now, where are we right now? So at the moment, we are undergoing research. This is, as Emily explained, led by KU Leuven in Belgium. This survey, sorry, it can be done in, sorry, chat is distracting. Yeah, okay, sorry. So what's this research about exactly? Emily explained quite a bit before, but we're also asking about broader topics, such as what topics you would like to include in the Autism Advocacy Academy. Do you want to focus on education? I saw some people mention medical. That's very relatable for me as a chronically ill autistic person, advocating for yourself in healthcare settings. Employment, laws and legislation, or even an introduction to advocacy if it's something that's new to you, especially if you're late diagnosed. That's a huge thing to undergo. So yeah, or all of the above. What would you like to see? Also, what kind of format is most accessible to you? Do you prefer an online setting, in person, hybrid, large classes, small classes? We all learn in different ways, of course, but it's important to also ask you what you would like to how you would like to learn. Same goes with teaching styles. What kind of teaching style do you prefer? I myself am more of a practical hands-on learner, but there's visual learners, there's auditory, there's all kinds of learners out there. So you can tell us what you would prefer. Next slide, please. All right, so how can you participate in the study? Next slide. Next, yeah, okay. Nope. Go back. Oh no, it's possessed. Okay, we're here now. So you're eligible if you live in the EU. And if you're autistic. It doesn't matter if you're officially diagnosed or self-identified, you're valid either way. Please take part in our study. And you also need to be ages 16 to 29. very, very sorry for those who had their 30th birthday last week. We love you. But it's a study about youth, so we had to put the cutoff there. Of course, you can contact us directly through the website on neuroadvocacy.eu. We will be sharing these slides, and I'm sure you can see probably some links somewhere. And you can also directly reach out to Activate through the email shown on screen as well. Next slide. Once again, we really want to center autistic voices. We want to make sure that the research process is accessible to you in whatever ways we can. So you can choose between 3 formats so far. We have an interview. So this is a traditional semi-structured interview. You'll be sent the questions in advance though. And you can take part either online or in person. Or through the online survey, which is linked somewhere in the comments. Once again, we'll be sharing these things in the Discord later on, or even through email correspondence. If speaking is not your thing, I can relate to that, ironically. That's an option for you as well. And once again, if there's any other way that we can accommodate you, feel free to reach out. We really want to hear from you.